Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here. I hope you're having a good day. I want to do a little review of all the work we've been doing with adding and subtracting mixed numbers. The first thing we did is we started off looking at adding mixed numbers that have the same denominator. And what's always really important is that you show one mixed number below the other. Write them vertically down the page. And this way it lines up your whole numbers, it lines up your fractions. So this first question, 1 1/6 plus 2 2/6. Now we started off with same denominator, so all we need to do is add the whole numbers. 1 plus 2 is 3. Add the numerators of the fraction. 1 plus 2 is 3. Common denominator of 6. So you have 3 3/6. And then of course we should always be looking to reduce fractions. I can divide the numerator and denominator by 3, and that's going to give us an answer of 3 1/2. Okay, that's what I consider a pretty simple question to begin with. And then gradually we'll get a little bit trickier here. So this next one, we'll have 3 1/7 plus 2 6/7. And once again, we have a common denominator of 7, so we don't have to find one. So all we need to do is add up the whole numbers and add up the numerators. 1 plus 6 is 7/7. Now we don't want to leave it like this because we should recognize, I'm going to do this over here, that 7/7 is the same as 1 whole. So what we really have here is 5 plus 1. And our final answer is 6. So we have to make sure we simplify fractions like that and make sure that if we have a fraction that's a whole number or an improper fraction, that we simplify it, which is exactly what we get here in number 3. In number 3, we have 3 2/3 plus 2/3. And you can see once again that I have a common denominator of 3. So I just add the whole numbers. There's only one whole number. And then I add the numerators. 2 plus 2 is 4/3. Now here's the catch. The catch is that I can't leave this improper fraction like that. So I want to, either with mental math or on scrap paper, I want to make that improper fraction. I'll do it over here. A mixed number, 4/3. Well, how many 3's fit inside 4? One of them. Remainder 1 out of 3. So it's 3 plus the 4/3 becomes 1 1/3. So my final answer then is 3, not 3. 3 plus 1 is 4 1/3. Okay? So that's a situation where we had to take this improper fraction, make it a mixed number, and then add it to the whole number. All right, let's see what happens now with unlike denominators. So we still do the same thing. We have 2 1/2 plus 4 1/6. And I'm going to do like when we were just adding fractions, I'm going to have an area for scrap or mental math. Okay, and we want to find our common denominator, our lowest common denominator of 2 6. Okay, well the lowest common denominator of 2 6 is 6, and I can do that on scrap paper by skip counting. 2, 4, 6, 6. There's our LCD. Our LCD is 6. So what we want to show then is writing both fractions with our lowest common denominator. And that's why we want to have them vertically. Look how nice that looks. Very easy to see what's going on here. Okay. 2 times 3 gives 6. 1 times 3 gives 3/6. And 1/6 stays the same. So now we can add up our whole numbers and our fractions. 2 plus 4 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4 over 6. And then we should always check that our fractions are in lowest terms. I can divide this by 2, divide by 2, and I have 6 wholes and 2/3. So it's exactly like when you were adding and subtracting fractions, but now we're adding on the mixed number part to it. Let's look at another one. Okay, 1 and 2/3 plus 1 and 3 over 4. And I'll divide my page and have an area for scrap or mental math. Okay, well, lowest common denominator of 3 and 4. I want to skip count. 3, 6, 9, 12, 4, 8, 12. The LCD is 12. Okay, so we take both fractions and write denominator 12, denominator 12. 3 times 4 gives 12, so 2 times 4 gives 8. 4 times 3 gives 12, so 3 times 3 gives 9. Okay, we add up our whole numbers. 1 and 1 make 2. And add up our fractions that I've drawn in black. 9 and 8 are 17. Common denominator 12. Okay, we can't leave the 17 over 12 as an improper fraction. So either by mental math or on scrap paper, over here I'll do 17 over 12. 12 goes into 17 one time, remainder 5 out of 12. So that means we have 2 wholes plus 17 over 12 becomes 1 and 5 over 12. And that's going to be 3 and 5 over 12. And that is how it's done, kids. Let's do one more like that. So we'll do 3 and 3/5 plus 1 1/2. And I'm going to divide my page for scrap or mental math. And I'm going to define the lowest common denominator of 5 and 2. Well, if I skip count by 5s, I get 5, 10. And I know 2 is an even number, so if I skip count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I know my LCD then is 10. So what you want to show me then is writing both fractions with the lowest common denominator 10. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. And then when you work this out, 3 plus 1 gives 4. And 6 plus 5 gives 11 over 10. 11 over 10 is an improper fraction. We don't want to leave it like that. So in my scrap area, I'm going to say, okay, I know 10 goes into 11 one time. Remainder 1 out of 10. So this has to be 4 plus the 11 over 10 becomes 1 and 1 over 10, which is 5 and 1 over 10. Kids, I hope that helps you with your assignments. We have some assignments from ML 249, 250 that we're working on. Make sure you're showing your work in your notebook. That's all for now. Flexing Teacher Weber out.